Hi, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to share my designer scarf collection. I've been on a little bit of a roll recently doing collection videos. On my last collection video, I got some requests to share some more of my scarves to go into a little bit more detail. So I thought it would be helpful to share my designer scarves and also share how I wear them. I find that designer scarves are often an interesting shape or length. Sometimes they're a little bit shorter than I want them to, or sometimes they're more square. There are a couple different ways that I choose to wear some of these scarves that I thought would be helpful to share. By no means are these the only ways that you should wear these scarves, but it's how I like to wear them. You might notice I have different glasses on today. I have a number of glasses that I've been rotating through because I'm staying home a lot more, and instead of opening a new pack of contacts, I figured I will just give my eyes a rest. And so I figured it would be fun to just rotate through my eyeglasses as well, just to jazz it up a little bit. I wouldn't say I have the largest collection of designer scarves per se, but I do have a variety. So those that are really, really thick for like the dead of winter, and those that are much lighter. And I thought, even though New York is starting to get much warmer, the other half of the world, the southern hemisphere, will be going into fall and winter. So I figured, whichever season you're in, you can still get something out of this video. I think I'll start with the heavier scarves that I have. The very first designer scarf I ever had in my life was this Burberry scarf. This is their Cashmere, signature Burberry check or plaid design. And as you can see, it's in the skinny version. They do have a version, I think it's about twice this. It's much wider, but the same length or very similar length. And this is the skinnier one. And to be straight up honest, I got the skinnier one because at the time I couldn't afford the larger one. It wasn't a matter of did I want to save the money or not. It was just at that time I didn't feel like it made sense to spend that much money on a scarf. So I went with the skinnier version. And immediately after I bought it, I kind of not regretted that, but I did have some second thoughts about that. Initially, I thought, oh, maybe I should have just waited and saved up a little bit more to get the full size, the wider size. But now I'm actually happy that I have this shape and this thin scarf in my collection, because it does add a lot more variety. Of course, the color itself is very, very classic, and it goes with pretty much everything. Because it is a cashmere scarf, it is very warm, but because it is on the thinner side, I like to wear this during the transitional months. Earlier in February and the beginning of March, I was wearing this a lot on my commute to work because the mornings were still a little bit chilly, but it wasn't so cold that you needed a full-blown, full protection scarf. So that's what I find this to be really great for. And the main way that I like to wear it is just to loop it around my neck. So I just like to go like this and pull my hair out. I find that because this keeps a lot of the fabric closer to your neck, it does keep you a lot warmer. And so when it gets hot, I will either just undo it and leave it like this, or I like to loosely wrap it around my neck like this as well. And because this opens up a little bit more air to my neck, it's not as warm like some cold air can get to you. So this is really if I'm getting hot or the weather doesn't call for that close protection, and you just want it to be loosely around your neck. I think this is really perfect for wearing it both ways, and then also wearing it for when it's not super, super cold outside. The next scarf I added to my collection was this Fendi scarf in a bright red color. This is also a thicker scarf. It is a 100% wool, and it is, I think I got this in 2017. This is kind of reversible. The back looks like this, but it's really this bright red color. And I find that with designer scarves, this width is beautiful, but the length sometimes feels like it's a little bit short. I like to wear scarves looped around my neck for the most part, but you'll see, I think this one's a little short. You can do it, you absolutely can do it, but I also have a lot of non-designer scarves that are very long and like luscious, and I like that because it makes it easier for me to manage the hanging parts of the scarf, because this would be really prone for it to like start to like, you know, fall off my shoulder, or like if the wind blows it'll blow off my shoulder. And I don't like to wear scarves like this, even though I feel like they look really cool, especially like for taking photos and stuff like that, but it's not very practical for me because it always falls off my shoulder. So I can, and I sometimes do wear it like that, but most of the time, if it's not very, very cold, I'll just wear it down like this, extra long, and I'll wear like my coat on top, and I think it looks really like chic that way. A good part of your neck is still exposed, so I do that when it's not like Arctic blast, dead of winter, super cold outside. And then the other way I like to wear my scarf, or this scarf, is looped around again, and I just like to loop it through like this and leave the F out. I'll pull my hair out. Because my hair is shorter, I will pull it out. When I had much longer hair, I would usually leave it tucked in because it gets really unruly to pull my hair out. It's just like too much. So with the shorter hair, I'll pull my hair out. And this scarf is so warm. I usually like to wear my scarves so that they cover like a good part of my nose and mouth, because if the cold air is blowing, it usually like hurts my face, and that way I can keep a lot more warmth. But this scarf, even though I can't really do that, I find it being like just tied like this, it's super warm in the middle of the winter, and I don't feel like I am like really cold or like dying from the air that's hitting my face. So I tend to wear this like this. If it's not as cold, I'll just drape it around my neck and use it for a wonderful pop of color. This is the most recent scarf actually to my collection, is this Louis Vuitton Logomania jungle print, and I was super excited to add this to my collection. This is similar to the Fendi scarf in terms of overall thickness, and I would say also in its overall length, if not, this one's slightly shorter. And it also has little tassels. Because this scarf is a little bit shorter than the Fendi scarf, I find it a lot more difficult to wear just around my neck. You see how short these are? The Fendi one, at least, I feel, because it didn't have tassels, the whole scarf came down to about where the tassels end. But this one is about 1.5 inches shorter. Like the scarf ends about 1.5 inches shorter because it needs that room for the tassels. And I just feel like it doesn't look the best because of its length. So this is my least preferred way of wearing this scarf, but it's possible. I prefer, like my Fendi scarf, to wear it just down like this and with a coat on top. I just like how it's very neutral, but it will peek through. I think it adds a wonderful element to the whole outfit. It also still keeps me warm because the back of my neck and the sides are all covered, and it's just the front part that might get a little bit exposed. Sometimes when it's the winter time and I'm wearing this scarf, I will throw just one side over the shoulder, because I think because the whole way around doesn't work that well, so I will throw it across if it's getting a little bit cold and I need my neck to be covered. And then if it's super cold, I will do the little loop and pull it through, but mind you, because it's a little bit shorter, I don't think this scarf looks that cute this way. You know, it's like just like this little bit with the tassels sticking out, but it is doable. And if it's cold outside, I absolutely will do this, because this is like the warmest way you can wear your scarf to really keep yourself cozy in the winter. So if it's really cold and I'm outside already and I have this scarf, I will wear it like this. But this is only out of necessity more than out of style. I think my most preferred way is really to just drape it down on both sides. I think this looks really cool for that. So those are my dead of winter, the warmest scarves that I have. But the most in-between scarf that I have is this one from Hermes. This is their like 90 centimeter cashmere blend scarf, and it is very large. So you can see here it's very large, and it's a whole square. It is a silk and cashmere mix, so it's still thin, very light, but will provide a good amount of warmth as well. I did wear this like once or twice in the dead of winter, but I wore it as part of like my indoor outfit, if that makes sense. So I wore it with like a long sleeve, and I wore this scarf to wear throughout the day rather than it being the scarf that I wore with my like winter coat outside. The previous winter scarves that I shared are the types where I wear them with my winter coat outside. So for me, I like to wear it almost like a regular scarf. So I will take, so these are the corners that make the rectangle. I take the diagonal corners of the scarf itself, and then I just start like scrunching, like rolling it down, scrunching. I'm like not careful about it at all. And I will like drape this around as like I would any regular scarf. And I like to tie it because I feel like it makes the ends move around a lot less. And I just like to pull my hair out, and then I just have the scarf like this. That's the easiest way that I like to wear this. But another way I like to wear this scarf is, again, taking the diagonals and making a very, very large triangle. So you see the triangle shape here. At least I hope you can see. And then you can pick a side that you want to lay down. Let's say I lay this side down, and you can take both sides so you still see the triangle, and you can just take it around and bring it round front, and take the hair out, and you can wear it this way as well. And you can like play around with which corners you feel like work better to lay down here. You can fold this in the front if you want, again, whoops, like this, so it looks a little different. You can also fold it behind. I keep saying fold, I mean tie. You can tie it behind, or you can like let it down. And this is another way you can wear the scarf as like part of your outfit. I kind of consider this to be like part of your outfit, and you can jazz up any plain black or white t-shirt, button up, anything, any staple underneath, and do this on top. And because I got a question from a viewer specifically on my last like collection video asking about how to tie scarves for like a motorbike ride, to be really honest, I've never really been on a motorbike ride myself, but I would say this kind of scarf would be good, like this kind of material. More than the heavy wool that I just showed, and more than like a pure silk scarf. I would recommend this silk cashmere blend because it's a lot softer, and I would feel like this would be more breathable than the silk scarves. But I would say this 90 centimeter is probably too big. They also make these kinds of scarves in a smaller size. I think it's like 30 or 36 centimeter. So I would definitely check those out. To fold it into like a triangle, fold it into a bandana, so you could effectively like cover your nose, mouth like this, and then tie it behind your head. I mean, you could do it with this scarf, but I think it would be a little too much fabric to really be able to enjoy the ride. I think Hermes also, like if you go on their website and you look at their scarves, they show like a lot of different ways to tie the scarves, so you could reference some of those for inspiration as well. Because of how large it is, I do like to put the triangle on the back and fold it in the front. Now, because I like to do this because in the winter time it can add a lot of warmth on your back, because you'll have extra fabric that's falling behind you, and it's also covering your shoulders. The only problem is that the leftover pieces are quite long, so they would fall all the way down my torso. Ideally I would like to leave it this way. I like the look when it's like this, but because they're so long, I usually will then also tie a little knot in the front so that it's not quite as, you know, long. It's a little bit shorter. I mean, you could do a double-sided bow. I like to do a one-sided bow. I'll show you what it looks like with the double-sided bow. So you can have it draped around your shoulders, put into a little bow in front. This is really great for keeping yourself warm. So a lot of times It might be like I started out wearing it in the front, and sometimes the office can get really cold because the AC is running constantly. And in those cases, I'll like undo it and then I'll drape it around me so that I feel a lot warmer. You can also just wear it totally draped around you if you wanted. You could totally wear it like this. You can tie it or you can leave it open. If I were to wear it like this, I would likely leave it open so that the sides are just hanging, and just wear it kind of like a, well, it is a shawl, but I'd wear it like as a shawl this way. It's just funny because I draped it over this way. I feel like this is giving me a lot of Carole Baskin vibes from Tiger King. You should comment down below if you know what I'm talking about. It's so nice. It feels like it's just like a blanket almost, which is why I really like to wear this to work, because I'll wear it around my neck for my commute. It makes it really easy. And then once I'm there, if I get cold, I can rearrange it into different ways to make sure I stay warm. Next scarf has a very, very similar texture and composition. This is from YSL, and it is in this gorgeous dark navy color. This is a modal and cashmere scarf. So this is also a light but warm cashmere scarf. You can see though, my only kind of gripe with it is that it creases. It creases, and the creases don't come out that easily. But this is a rectangular style. There is a tiny fringe at the bottom. It's almost like it's more of an unfinished hem rather than it's a full-on tassel. This is a beautiful length. It's perfect for throwing around like this. See how this length I feel like is the most comfortable length to do a whole wrap around the neck. This is usually the way that I like to wear it on most days, or I will also tie it in the front so that I don't have like unruly little parts of the scarf, and this way they kind of just stay in one place. So typically I like to wear it like this. I hope you can see like it's a little see-through almost. Like this weight of scarf is very, very, very versatile to be able to wear as like part of your outfit. It doesn't have as much fabric as the like 90 centimeter Hermes scarf that I showed you, and so it's a lot easier to manage sometimes. I mean, you can like simply just pull it through like this. It adds some warmth, and it also adds an additional element to your outfit. And then I know there are a whole bunch of intricate ways that you can tie a scarf in the front, and you can even like put some designs. I'm not that savvy with those things. I know like my mom likes to do all of her scarves up in a special way, but I tend to leave it pretty simple. I just like to loop it around my neck, or I will do it as a pull through loop like this and wear it as part of my outfit. This scarf in particular, I also really like to wear it to work, mostly because the warmth for the office, and also sometimes if I'm wearing like a shirt or a top that it's not revealing on its own, but like sometimes certain angles, like as you're moving, it could seem like it is. So this scarf is nice and lightweight to be able to add some extra coverage and not make it get awkward. The last designer scarf that I want to share is this vintage Gucci silk scarf. This is actually from my mom's collection that I raided her closet once, and I pulled it out of there. I believe they still have this design at the Gucci boutique. I mean, I haven't been in the last few weeks because I've been home, but I remember the last time I was in the Gucci boutique earlier this year, or maybe towards the end of last year, I saw there was a design very, very, very similar. So I think this is a pretty classic motif for Gucci. The colors might be just a little bit different depending on the season. This is pretty much like that 30 or 36 centimeter scarf that I was mentioning when I was referencing this 90 centimeter one. How I mostly wear this is, again, I fold it in a triangle. You can see here. And then I'm gonna try to show you on my body. I fold it again like so. So I put the tip of the triangle against, I'm gonna try to show this. So I fold up the triangle, and then I keep folding all of these parts in. This is like a really terrible job, but you'll see. You'll get the general idea. So I do it until I get about maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick. and I will put that over my neck. I will then just tie a knot. And this was like very hastily done, so if it doesn't come out beautiful, I hope you'd forgive me, but this way it's secured in the front and it adds like a beautiful pop of color. I think if I do this right, I am able to add a little bit more color than just the green. Like more of the flower parts will show through, but you can, of course, depending on what design you have on your scarf, you can always play around with which angles work the best. But this way you're able to kind of shrink down the scarf so that it's like a long ribbon, and you tie it and you add some volume with the bottom pieces like this. So I really like wearing it this way with like a white button up underneath or a plain white blouse. This adds a lot of the interesting element to my outfit. This is my favorite way for this particular scarf with this design. I think I even wore it in like my Hermes lipstick video. I think so. I think that's the one. And so you can see what it looks like against like a white blouse. If you watched my Hermes collection video, if not, I will link it up above. But I shared a few other silk pieces that I have that I didn't bring out in my scarf collection. I don't consider those to be technically scarves, so that's why I didn't bring them out, but you can check out my Hermes collection video to see the other silks that I have in my collection. Otherwise, I think that's everything. If you have any other techniques or ways that you like to wear scarves, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to get inspired and try some of those new techniques out. But if you have any questions on any of these items or really anything at all, feel free to leave them down below or head on over to Instagram and I'd be happy to help however I can. If you like this video and you found it helpful, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your feedback and support. If you like this kind of content and you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Sunday. So until next time, bye! Isn't it? It's because I draped it like this. I was like, I look like I just walked out of Carol Baskin's closet. Like, you know, everything she's got has tigers on it, and I was like, oh my god, this just like looks like her right now.
See the flower crown.